Houston's skyline burns gold through floor-to-ceiling windows as Emily Carter adjusts her black uniform for the third time. Her reflection in the polished steel shows everything wrong. Worn sneakers peeking beneath pressed pants, foundation barely hiding exhaustion lines, hands trembling from double shifts, not champagne glasses. 23 years old, 3 jobs, 1 sick mother, 1 angry brother, 0 room for mistakes. The dining room gleams with crystal and cruelty. Oil barons slice $100 steaks while their wives flash diamonds worth more than Emily's annual rent. She weaves between tables, balancing water glasses, invisible as wallpaper, until he walks in. Kareem Al-Fayed moves like gravity shifted to accommodate him. Tailored black suit that costs more than Emily's car, sharp jawline, eyes that calculate net worth before bothering with names. Politicians straighten ties. CEOs pause mid-sentence. Even the chandeliers seem to dim in deference. Arab billionaire, real estate empire spanning 3 continents. Ruthless, brilliant, dangerous. Emily has heard the whispers, hostile takeovers, death threats, 3 assassination attempts in Dubai. Men like him don't just eat dinner. They devour worlds. He chooses the corner table, orders nothing, watches the room like a predator cataloging weakness. Emily approaches with water, her pulse hammering against her ribs. She's served wealthy jerks before, but Kareem feels different, more intense, more predatory. She sets his glass down carefully, too carefully. Her hand betrays her with the slightest tremor. Those cold eyes sweep over her worn shoes, her cheap uniform, her practiced smile that doesn't quite hide desperation. His expression hardens into something that looks like disgust. He leans forward, just enough for her to hear. "Girls like you don't belong here." The words slice through her chest like broken glass. Heat floods her cheeks as shame burns through every nerve. Emily's smile freezes, her throat closing around words that won't come. She wants to disappear, to run, to never again serve another entitled billionaire who thinks poverty is a personality defect. Instead, she nods politely. "Of course, sir, enjoy your evening." Walking away takes every ounce of willpower she possesses. Emily retreats to the service station, his words echoing like a curse. "Girls like you don't belong here." She's been called worse. Working 3 jobs since 17 teaches you to swallow insults with grace. But something about his tone, that cold dismissal like she was gum on his Italian leather, cuts deeper than usual. Maybe because she's been telling herself the same thing for months. What Emily doesn't know is that Kareem Al-Fayed just made the biggest mistake of his billionaire life. Because girls like Emily Carter don't just belong here. She thought she was safe serving the wealthy elite, but words can cut deeper than any blade. Subscribe before you miss what happens when the tables turn on him. Sometimes they're the only ones who can save you. Emily polishes wine glasses until her reflection multiplies into a dozen broken fragments. Kareem's words loop through her mind like a scratched record. "Girls like you don't belong here." Her phone buzzes. 3 missed calls from Mom. Probably the insurance company rejecting another claim. Or maybe Caleb got suspended again. Her 17-year-old brother's been lashing out since Dad walked out, and Emily's been playing parent ever since. She's reaching for her phone when 2 men slide onto bar stools near the service station. Wrong. Everything about them screams wrong. They're not regulars. Too tense. Too watchful. One wears an expensive suit that doesn't quite fit his linebacker shoulders. The other checks his phone every 20 seconds like he's expecting bad news. Emily refills water pitchers, invisible as furniture. Rich people talk around service staff like they're deaf. Sometimes that's useful. "Flight's at 11 tomorrow," the first man whispers. "Private terminal." "You sure about timing?" The second man's voice carries an edge sharp enough to cut glass. "If we miss this window, we won't." Al-Fayed never changes routine. Same car, same route to the airport, same arrogance. Emily's blood turns to ice water. Al-Fayed, they're talking about Kareem. She edges closer, pretending to organize silverware while her heart hammers against her ribs. "Device is planted?" "Driver won't know what hit him. Brake failure. Happens all the time with foreign cars." The fork slips from Emily's numb fingers, clattering against marble like a gunshot. Both men turn toward her. "You okay there, sweetheart?" The first man's smile doesn't reach his eyes. "Long shift?" "Sorry." Emily forces a laugh, bending to retrieve the fork. Clumsy. When she straightens, they're already moving toward separate exits, like they planned it. Emily's mind races. Call the police? Tell her manager? Chase after Kareem with warnings about assassination plots? Who would believe a waitress over two men in $1,000 suits? But she knows what she heard. Someone is planning to murder Kareem Al-Fayed tomorrow, the same man who just crushed her spirit for sport. Part of her whispers he deserves what's coming. Arrogant billionaires who treat people like insects. Another part, the part that still believes in doing right, knows she can't let someone die, even someone who hurt her. Emily stares across the restaurant where Kareem sits alone, scrolling through his phone with casual confidence. A man who's never feared death because money has always bought him safety. Tomorrow he'll learn that some things can't be purchased. The question is, will she warn him in time? 40 floors above Houston's glittering maze, Kareem Al-Fayed stands in his penthouse office studying the city he's helped reshape. Glass towers bearing his name pierce the darkness like steel monuments to ambition realized. But success has a price written in blood. 3 years ago, his wife Claire died in what police called a tragic accident. Brake failure on a winding road outside Austin. She was returning from her family, the wealthy Monroe clan who never approved of their daughter marrying an Arab businessman. Since that night, trust has become a luxury Kareem can't afford. The waitress from tonight keeps infiltrating his thoughts. Emily something. Small, nervous, clearly drowning in a world where appetizers cost more than she makes weekly. He shouldn't have said what he said. Even by his standards, the words were cruel. But cruelty is armor. It keeps people distant. Distance keeps them breathing. Kareem pours 3 fingers of whiskey aged longer than Emily has been alive. He thinks about Claire, who would have torn strips off him for tonight's behavior. "You can't save everyone by pushing them away," she used to say. "Sometimes the people who look weakest are strongest." Claire saw good in everyone. It made him love her. Maybe it got her killed. His phone buzzes. Text from security. Flight confirmed 11 a.m. Car pickup 9:30. Same route. Kareem frowns. He never uses the same route twice. Basic security protocol he's followed for years. He calls immediately. "Marcus, why the regular route tomorrow?" "Sir, you approved it this morning. Conference call during drive. Needed smooth highway instead of back roads. Ice floods Kareem's veins. He made no such request. Change it now. Route C through downtown. Already arranged with driver, sir. Might be difficult. Change it now." Kareem hangs up, mind racing. Someone inside his organization approved that route. Someone who knows his protocols. Someone who wants him on that highway tomorrow. He thinks about Claire's accident. Brake failure. No witnesses. No evidence. What if it wasn't an accident? Kareem moves to his wall safe, retrieving a Glock 19 he prays never to use. If someone's hunting him, they picked the wrong prey. But as he checks the magazine, Kareem can't shake the memory of the nervous waitress. Something in her eyes when she looked at him. Not just hurt from his cruelty, fear. Like she knew something he didn't. Paranoid thinking. Waitresses don't overhear assassination plots. They worry about tips and rent and which customer might complain to management. Still, the thought nags. Girls like Emily Carter don't belong in his dangerous world. But what if his world is about to crash into hers? Emily barely sleeps. Every time she closes her eyes, she hears, "Brake failure. Make it look like an accident." By dawn, she's pacing her tiny kitchen while coffee grows cold. Her mother shuffles out in a bathrobe, moving carefully because dialysis leaves her weak. "You're up early, honey." "Couldn't sleep." Emily forces brightness into her voice. "How are you feeling?" "Same as always. Like I'm drowning from inside." Janet studies her daughter's face with the intensity only mothers possess. What's wrong? And don't say nothing. Emily wants to confess everything: the cruel billionaire, the assassination plot, the impossible choice weighing on her conscience. Instead, she kisses Mom's forehead. Just work stress. You always handle it. Janet's voice carries gratitude and guilt in equal measure. I'm sorry you have to. Mom, stop. We're family. But as Emily dresses for her afternoon shift, she knows today is different. Today she might choose between principles and survival. By the time she reaches the restaurant, her hands are steady. Decision made. She's warning him. Not because she likes him. After last night, she'd rather never see his arrogant face again. But because she can't live knowing someone died while she did nothing. Emily clocks in and scans the dining room. No Kareem yet. She positions herself near the entrance, polishing the same water glass repeatedly while other servers shoot her strange looks. 8:15 p.m. Nothing. Maybe he's not coming. Maybe those men meant someone else entirely. Then the door opens. Kareem strides in wearing charcoal gray instead of black, but radiating the same predatory awareness. When his gaze lands on Emily, his expression hardens. He requests the same corner table. Emily's manager assigns her his section despite obvious reluctance. Try not to spill anything, her manager mutters. Emily approaches with water, heart hammering so loud she's certain he can hear it. Good evening, sir. He doesn't look up from his phone. Water. No food tonight. This is her moment. Tell him. Warn him. Let him handle it. But as she opens her mouth, words stick in her throat like cement. What if he doesn't believe her? What if he thinks she's delusional? What if he has her fired for harassment? Your water, sir. Thank you. Still doesn't look at her. Like she's invisible, subhuman. Emily starts walking away, then stops, turns back. Sir, What? His tone could freeze hellfire. Emily's courage evaporates. Nothing, sorry. She retreats to the service station, furious with herself. Coward. He might be cruel, but he doesn't deserve death. Emily watches as Kareem makes phone calls, voice too low to overhear. Business as usual. Oblivious that his life has an expiration date. 8:45 p.m. He signals for his check. Time's running out. Emily processes his payment with trembling hands, returning his black credit card. Have a safe evening, she emphasizes the word safe. He looks at her then. Really looks, like seeing her for the first time. Is there something you want to say? Now or never? I hope your flight goes well. Kareem's eyes narrow. How do you know about my flight? Emily's blood turns to slush. Stupid mistake. I assumed. You seem like someone who travels. He studies her for an eternal moment, then nods curtly. Indeed. Kareem stands, straightening his jacket, walking toward the door, toward his car, toward death. Emily watches him go, paralyzed by indecision. Something snaps inside her. She grabs a water pitcher and hurries after him, weaving between tables. Kareem nearly reaches the exit when she catches up. Sir, wait. He turns, annoyed. What now? Emily's mind blanks. She can't blurt out assassination warnings. That sounds insane. So she does the only thing possible. She trips. Not really. Completely deliberate. She throws herself off balance just enough to slam into his shoulder, sending water cascading down his expensive suit. Oh my God, I'm so sorry. Kareem jumps back, water dripping from jacket and pants. His face contorts with rage. Are you insane? This suit costs more than you make in 6 months. I'm so sorry, sir. I'm clumsy. Please, don't touch me. His voice carries across the restaurant where diners stare openly. This is exactly why people like you don't belong in places like this. You can't handle simple tasks without... I'll pay for cleaning. Emily interrupts, grabbing napkins. Please. With what money? Tonight's tips? His voice booms loud enough for half Houston to hear. You couldn't afford to dry clean a single button? Emily's cheeks burn with humiliation, but she keeps dabbing at his suit. Every second she delays him gives his driver time to discover the sabotage. Sir, please, enough. Kareem's voice cuts like steel. Stay away from me. If you ever pull something like this again, I'll have you fired and blacklisted from every decent restaurant in Houston. He storms toward the exit, leaving Emily standing in a puddle with half the restaurant gawking. Her manager rushes over. Emily, what the hell? I'm sorry. It was an accident. That's Kareem Al-Fayed. Do you have any idea? I know, I'll pay whatever. You'll be lucky to have a job tomorrow. Emily nods miserably, mopping water while diners whisper about the clumsy waitress who humiliated herself before Houston royalty. But she doesn't care about her job. She cares whether her desperate gambit worked. Emily rushes to the window overlooking the parking garage. Below, Kareem's black Mercedes gleams under fluorescent lights. His driver circles the vehicle with a flashlight, checking for something. The driver kneels beside the front wheel, then pulls out his phone. Even from this distance, Emily sees his urgent gestures. They found it. Whatever sabotage was planned, the driver discovered it. Kareem appears in the garage, still brushing water from his jacket. The driver approaches quickly, pointing at the car and shaking his head. Kareem's posture shifts instantly, from annoyed to alert, dangerous. He makes rapid phone calls. Within minutes, 2 black SUVs arrive with security personnel. Emily sinks against the window, legs shaking with relief. She did it. She saved him. He had no idea she just saved his life, and most people wouldn't notice the warning signals either. Subscribe so you never miss the danger lurking in plain sight. But as Emily watches Kareem gesture angrily at his sabotaged car, she realizes her problems are multiplying. Because now she's on the radar of a man who doesn't believe in coincidences. And killers don't quit after one failed attempt. Emily wakes to 17 missed calls, 12 from her manager, 3 from coworkers, 2 from unknown numbers. She's fired. Has to be. Then she sees the news alert. Billionaire's car sabotaged. Brake lines cut on Kareem Al-Fayed's Mercedes. Police investigating attempted murder. Her phone rings. Unknown number. Miss Carter? Marcus Webb, head of security for Mr. Al-Fayed. He'd like to speak with you. Emily nearly drops the phone. I don't understand. A car will pick you up in 20 minutes. Mr. Al-Fayed has questions about last night. The line dies. 23 minutes later, Emily sits in a black SUV with tinted windows, watching Houston blur past. The security guard, Marcus, hasn't spoken since collecting her. They pull into Al-Fayed Industries' parking garage. Emily has walked past this gleaming tower hundreds of times but never imagined entering. The elevator rises silently to the 42nd floor. Marcus leads her through glass offices where people in $1,000 suits type on computers worth more than Emily's car. Then they reach the corner office. Floor-to-ceiling windows overlook the city. Modern art worth more than her mother's medical bills. Behind a desk the size of Emily's kitchen sits Kareem Al-Fayed. He's changed into navy blue that fits like armor. But his eyes remain calculating, dangerous, focused entirely on her. Sit. He gestures to a chair across from his desk. Emily sits, hands folded to hide trembling. Yesterday you spilled water on me. I'm sorry, sir, I explained. You're lying. Matter of fact. I've reviewed security footage. You didn't trip. You deliberately threw yourself into me. Emily's mouth goes dry. Sir, The question is why? Kareem leans back. You risked your job, reputation, and my considerable anger to delay me exactly 7 minutes. 7 minutes that allowed my driver to discover brake line tampering. Silence stretches between them. Emily hears her own heartbeat. I want truth. Kareem continues. Before considering lies, understand I have resources beyond imagination. I can make your life comfortable or very difficult. Choose wisely. Emily stares at Houston's skyline. thinking about Mom's medical bills, Caleb's school expenses, overdue notices stacking up. Then she thinks about the two men. Poison backup plans. How many might die if she stays silent? I overheard something, she whispers. Speak up. Two men at the restaurant, Tuesday night, planning to kill you. Kareem's expression doesn't change, but Emily catches the tightening around his eyes. What exactly did you hear? Emily tells him everything. Brake failure conversation. Poison backup. Private terminal details. Physical descriptions. When she finishes, Kareem stays silent. Why not go to police? Emily almost laughs. Think police would believe a waitress over two men in expensive suits? They'd assume I was crazy or attention-seeking. Why warn me at all, after what I said? The question hangs heavy. Emily meets his gaze directly. Because I couldn't let someone die, even someone who thinks I don't belong in his world. Something shifts in Kareem's expression. Not softness, recognition. You mentioned one man wore a distinctive ring. Describe it. Emily closes her eyes, picturing the scene. Gold band, wide. Some kind of crest, 3 interlocking circles, small stones around edges. Kareem goes very still. Draw it. He slides a legal pad across. Emily sketches carefully, the ring taking shape under precise strokes. When she returns the pad, Kareem's face turns to stone. That's the Al-Fayed family crest, he says quietly. This ring belongs to my half-brother Yusuf. Emily's heart sinks. I'm sorry. I know this must... You're certain this is what you saw? Yes, sir. I'm good with details. It's my thing. Kareem stares at the sketch. When he looks up, his eyes hold coldness that makes Emily shiver. My half-brother manages American properties. He has access to schedules, security protocols, travel arrangements. Deadly calm. He also stood to inherit significant portions of my estate. Stood to? I'm changing my will today. Kareem presses a desk button. Marcus, get my attorney. Run full background checks on everyone in Yusuf's circle. He looks back at Emily. You've helped identify a traitor in my family. That takes considerable intuition. Emily doesn't know what to say. She's never been praised for observational skills before. What happens now? Now you return to your life. Forget this conversation. If anyone asks about Tuesday night, you tell them nothing. My job? Your manager received a generous donation to the staff fund this morning, along with my apologies for any misunderstanding about your performance. Relief floods through her. Thank you. Don't thank me yet. Kareem's voice drops to a whisper. Those men work for my brother, which means they know you can identify them. He doesn't finish. He doesn't need to. You think I'm in danger? I think you just painted a target on your back. That evening, every shadow looks suspicious. Every customer could be an assassin. Every phone call might bring news that Yusuf's men found her. Emily wipes tables when her manager approaches with confusion written across his face. Someone's here to see you. Says he's your cousin? Tall guy. Expensive suit. Very polite. Emily knows it's not her cousin. She follows her manager to the entrance where Kareem stands looking completely misplaced among the dinner crowd. He's changed into jeans and a black sweater but still radiates wealth and power. Hello, cousin, he says with a slight smile. Ready for dinner? What? We have reservations. I hope you don't mind Italian. He turns to her manager. I'll have her back by midnight. Of course, Mr. Kareem. Emily finds herself escorted to another black SUV, completely bewildered. I'm sorry, I don't understand. Someone broke into your apartment this afternoon. Emily's world tilts. What? My security team monitored your building since our conversation. 2 men picked your lock while you worked. Searched everything, took nothing. Emily feels sick. My mother, Caleb. Are they safe? Your mother was at dialysis. Your brother at school, but they'll return. The SUV stops at a small Italian restaurant in a quiet neighborhood. Nothing fancy, but clean and warm, the kind of place Emily might actually afford. "Why here?" she asks as they enter. "We need to talk, and my office has too many windows." Kareem nods to the hostess, who seats them at a corner booth with clear sightlines to all exits. "And you probably haven't eaten a real meal in weeks." He's right. Emily's been surviving on cereal and coffee since Mom's medical bills increased. They order. Kareem insists she get whatever she wants. Then he leans across the table, voice low. "I've been thinking about our situation. You've identified men trying to kill me, making you valuable. But it also makes you a target. So what do you want? For me to hide?" "I want you to help me catch them." Emily nearly chokes on water. "I'm sorry." "What?" "You have something I need, ability to observe details others miss. I have something you need, resources to keep your family safe. You want me to spy?" "I want you to be my eyes and ears. Yusuf doesn't know I suspect him yet. He'll continue operating normally, attending meetings, making calls, planning his next move." The food arrives, but Emily can't focus on eating. "I don't know anything about whatever this is." "You don't need to. Just watch and listen. Same as Tuesday night." Emily thinks about her apartment's broken lock, about Mom and Caleb, unaware their lives might be endangered. "What's in it for me?" "Family safety, mother's medical expenses covered, brother's college tuition paid." Kareem pauses. "And a job paying more than waiting tables." Emily's heart pounds. Too good to be true. "What kind of job?" "Executive assistant. Officially, you manage my calendar and correspondence. Unofficially, you help identify threats before they become deadly." "I don't have experience with—" "You spotted an assassination plot by paying attention. Correctly identified my would-be killer by remembering a ring most people wouldn't notice, and risked safety to save someone who insulted you." Kareem's voice softens slightly. "Trust me, you're more qualified than you think." Emily stares across the table. 3 days ago, this man told her she didn't belong in his world. Now he's offering to make her part of it. "Why should I trust you?" "Because you don't have choice. Yusuf's men know you can identify them. They'll keep coming until they silence you permanently." Kareem's eyes are serious. "The only way to stay safe is helping me destroy them first." Emily takes a bite of pasta, the best food she's tasted in months. Rich, complex, satisfying in ways that remind her how hungry she's been. Not just for food, for something beyond survival. "If I say yes, what happens to my family?" "Protected. Round-the-clock security, discreet, temporarily relocated while we handle this." "If I say no?" Kareem doesn't answer immediately. "I'll still protect you as best I can, but my resources have limits." Emily thinks about Mom's tired face, Caleb's angry outbursts, bills that never shrink despite multiple jobs. Then about 2 men who broke into her apartment searching for evidence or planning the best way to kill her. "Okay," she says quietly. "I'll help." Kareem nods. "Understand. Once we start this, there's no retreat. Yusuf won't disappear quietly. He'll fight using every weapon he has." "What weapons?" "Money, connections, people who owe favors." Kareem pauses. "And the fact that to most of Houston, you're nobody. A waitress who could disappear without anyone important noticing." Emily meets his gaze steadily. "Then I guess it's time to become somebody." For the first time since knowing him, Kareem Al-Fayed smiles. "Welcome to my world, Emily Carter. Try not to get us both killed." 2 weeks into her new existence, Emily feels like she's inhabiting someone else's skin. Designer clothes that actually fit. Luxury downtown apartment with security cameras and bulletproof windows. Credit cards that don't get declined. Her mother's medical bills vanishing overnight like they never existed. But the real transformation isn't financial. It's confidence. Emily discovers she has talent for reading people. In boardrooms, she notices when executives lie. During conference calls, she catches subtle tells revealing who's truly loyal to Kareem versus pretending. She's become his secret weapon, and they both know it. Anything unusual about the Henderson contract? Kareem asks, reviewing morning reports. Emily flips through notes. The lawyer kept touching his watch, mentioning timeline, used passive voice for liability clauses. Mistakes were made instead of, we made mistakes. Classic distancing language. Kareem nods approvingly. I'll have Marcus run deeper background on his firm. But beneath surface success, tension simmers. Yusuf has been quiet. Too quiet. No direct moves against Kareem. No obvious attempts accessing sensitive information. Like he's waiting for something. Maybe he suspects you know, Emily suggests during a strategy session. Or maybe he's planning something bigger. The answer comes Thursday evening when Emily attends her first high society event, a charity gala for Houston Museum of Fine Arts. She's there officially as Kareem's assistant, really as his early warning system. The ballroom glitters with crystal chandeliers and designer gowns worth more than Emily used to make annually. Oil heiresses mingle with tech billionaires. Politicians shake hands with foreign diplomats. Emily feels like she's stepped into another universe. You look terrified, Kareem murmurs as they enter. I am terrified. These people probably eat waitresses for breakfast. Only on Sundays. His dry humor surprises her. Over 2 weeks, she's discovered beneath his cold exterior, Kareem is actually funny. Who knew? They work the room systematically. Kareem makes small talk while Emily observes. She's gotten excellent at reading body language, picking up conversations across crowded spaces. That's how she notices the woman in emerald. Tall, elegant, silver hair swept into perfect chignon. Diamonds at throat and wrists. She moves through crowds like royalty, accepting air kisses and murmured greetings. But when she looks at Kareem, her expression turns glacial. Who's the woman in green? Emily whispers. Kareem follows her gaze and freezes. Victoria Monroe. Should I know that name? She was my wife's sister. Emily's blood chills. Claire's family. The wealthy Monroes who never approved of their daughter marrying an Arab businessman. What's she doing here? No idea. Monroes usually avoid events where I'll be present. Emily watches Victoria Monroe work the room, noting how she pauses at certain groups, leans in for intense whispered conversations, glances repeatedly toward Kareem. She's building coalition, Emily realizes. Look who she's talking to, Henderson, the lawyer you suspected, Councilman Richards, who voted against your waterfront project. That's Senator Walsh's chief of staff. Kareem's jaw tightens, turning my allies against me. Or recruiting them for something else. Realization hits them simultaneously. This isn't coincidence. Victoria Monroe didn't randomly attend this gala. She's here for a reason. I need to get closer, Emily says. Absolutely not. If she's connected to attempts on my life, she doesn't know who I am. I'm just your assistant. I can blend in. Before Kareem can protest, Emily slips into the crowd. She's learned about moving through high society events. Walk with purpose. Hold champagne even if you don't drink. Smile like you belong. Emily positions herself near the appetizer table, close enough to overhear when Victoria Monroe approaches a small group of women. Devastating what happened to poor Claire, one woman says. 3 years next month, Victoria replies, voice carefully modulated. We still miss her terribly. Such a tragic accident. Victoria's smile doesn't reach her eyes. Yes, tragic. Emily edges closer, pretending to examine canapes. Of course we all wondered about circumstances, another woman whispers. That winding road, at night. Claire was such a careful driver. She was returning from visiting us, Victoria says quietly. We'd had words about her marriage. She left upset. Upset enough to drive recklessly? Victoria pauses, glancing around, ensuring they're not overheard. Claire called me that night just before the accident. Crying, said she'd discovered something about Kareem's business dealings, something that made her question everything. Emily's heart pounds. What kind of something? One woman asks. She wouldn't say over phone, just that she was coming back to tell us in person, that maybe we'd been right about him all along. The group falls silent. You think, one begins. I think my sister died knowing the truth about the man she married, Victoria says coldly, and that truth died with her. Emily feels sick. She wants to flee, find Kareem, warn him what Victoria's spreading, but something keeps her frozen. Victoria continues, voice dropping to barely above whisper, which is why it's important we honor Claire's memory, by ensuring the truth finally comes to light. What do you mean? I mean it's time Houston learned what kind of man Kareem Al-Fayed really is. One woman looks uncomfortable. Victoria, you're not suggesting... I'm not suggesting anything, simply saying men like him, accidents happen. Sometimes justice takes its own course. Emily's blood turns to ice. That wasn't grief talking. That was threat. She backs away, mind racing. Victoria Monroe isn't just spreading rumors about Kareem. She's building narrative, setting up public opinion for when something accidentally happens to him. But as Emily turns to find Kareem, she walks straight into someone's chest. Careful there, sweetheart. Emily looks up into the face of one of the men from the restaurant, the one with ill-fitting suit, though tonight he's dressed much better. Her heart stops. Sorry, she manages, trying to step around him. His hand closes on her arm. Don't I know you from somewhere? The dead don't always rest in peace, and their families never forget. Subscribe before the ghosts of his past destroy everything. Emily forces a smile. I don't think so. You must have me confused. But his grip tightens, and she knows he recognizes her. She's walked into the lion's den, and the lions are hungry. Emily's training kicks in. The self-defense classes Kareem insisted she take, the situational awareness Marcus drilled into her. Never show fear. Always have an exit strategy. When in doubt, cause a scene. Excuse me, she says loudly, yanking her arm free. Do I know you? Other guests turn to look. The man, she remembers him now, the one who talked about brake failure, immediately drops his hand and steps back. My mistake. You just remind me of someone. Emily doesn't wait for him to change his mind. She walks quickly toward the bar, weaving between clusters of guests, her heart hammering against her ribs. She needs to find Kareem. Now. But as she scans the ballroom, she realizes he's gone. Probably stepped outside to take a call, or maybe to the men's room. Either way, she's alone in a room full of people who might want her boss dead, and at least one person who definitely wants her dead. Emily orders a sparkling water at the bar, using the mirror behind the bottles to watch the room. The man in the better-fitting suit is talking intensely to someone on his phone. His partner is nowhere to be seen. Where's the second man? The one who talked about poison? Emily's skin crawls with the sensation of being watched. She turns casually, pretending to admire the chandeliers, and spots him near the exit, blocking her most obvious escape route. They're boxing her in. Think, Emily. Think like Kareem would think. She pulls out her phone and texts him. Emergency. Need you now. Bar area. Then she does something that would have terrified the old Emily Carter but feels natural to the new one. She walks straight toward danger. Excuse me, she says, approaching Victoria Monroe's group with a bright smile. I'm so sorry to interrupt, but aren't you Victoria Monroe? Victoria's eyes narrow slightly. Yes. I'm Emily Carter, from Al-Fayed Industries. Mr. Al-Fayed asked me to express his condolences. He still misses Claire terribly. The temperature around the group drops about 20 degrees. How thoughtful, Victoria says through gritted teeth. He often talks about her, how kind she was, how she brought out the best in him. Emily's voice carries across the nearby conversations. He says she taught him that love means accepting someone completely, family included. One of the women looks confused. That's sweet. Claire always believed in giving people second chances. Emily continues, looking directly at Victoria. Even when they'd hurt her. She used to say that forgiveness was the strongest form of love. Victoria's face has gone pale. I think you're mistaken about... Oh, I'm sure I'm not. Mr. Al-Fayed has so many beautiful memories of your family dinners. How welcoming you all were. How Claire would light up when she talked about her sister. It's complete fiction, but Emily delivers it with such conviction that even she almost believes it. The other women are murmuring appreciatively. How lovely that they stayed close. Victoria realizes what's happening. Emily isn't just sharing memories. She's rewriting the narrative, making it impossible for Victoria to paint Kareem as the villain without looking heartless. If you'll excuse me, Victoria says stiffly, I need some air. She stalks away, leaving her conspiracy group confused and off balance. Emily allows herself a small smile of victory, which vanishes when she feels a hand on her shoulder. Very clever, a voice says in her ear, but not clever enough. It's the second man, the one who mentioned poison. He's standing too close, pressing something small and hard against her back. What do you want? Emily whispers. A little conversation, outside. I'm not going anywhere with you. You are if you don't want me to put a bullet in your spine right here in front of Houston's elite. Emily's mind races. He's bluffing. He has to be. You don't shoot someone at a charity gala surrounded by witnesses, unless you're desperate enough not to care about witnesses. Walk toward the exit, he murmurs. Smile. Act like we're old friends. Emily starts walking, her legs feeling like lead. Where is Kareem? Did he even get her text? They're halfway to the door when she hears a familiar voice behind them. Emily. She turns to see Kareem approaching, flanked by Marcus and 2 other security guards. His expression is calm, but his eyes are deadly. The man behind her tenses. Keep walking. I don't think so, Emily says loudly. Help. The word cuts through the elegant chatter like a fire alarm. Conversations stop. Heads turn. The man behind her swears and bolts for the exit, shoving past startled guests. Marcus and his team give chase, but Emily knows they won't catch him. Not in this crowd, not with all these witnesses. Kareem reaches her in 3 long strides. Are you hurt? No, but they're here, both of them, and Victoria Monroe. Emily's voice shakes as the adrenaline crashes through her system. She's not just grieving, she's planning something. Kareem's jaw hardens. Tell me everything. As Emily recounts the conversation she overheard, she watches Kareem's expression grow darker and darker. She's building a case for my guilt in Claire's death, he says finally, setting up public opinion so that when I die, it looks like justice. Or revenge. In her mind, they're the same thing. Emily looks around the ballroom, where guests are still whispering about the commotion. What do we do now? Kareem is quiet for a long moment, his mind clearly working through possibilities and strategies. Now we go on the offensive, he says finally. Victoria Monroe wants to play games with my reputation? Fine. But she's about to learn that I don't lose. His voice drops to a whisper that makes Emily shiver. And neither do you. Emily meets his gaze and sees something there that wasn't present 2 weeks ago. Not just respect, trust, complete, unwavering trust in her abilities. For the first time in her life, someone believes she's capable of extraordinary things. The question is, what extraordinary things will they have to do to survive? 3 months later, Los Angeles gleams under a perfect November sky as Kareem's private jet touches down at LAX. The biggest deal of his career waits, a $2 billion development that will reshape downtown LA's skyline. Emily sits across from him in the cabin, reviewing security protocols on her tablet. She's changed since Houston. Designer clothes fit her like armor now. Her hair is styled professionally. But more than that, She moves with confidence, speaks with authority, commands respect. She's no longer the frightened waitress who spilled water to save his life. Nervous? Kareem asks. Always. Emily's smile is slight but genuine. Nervous keeps you alive. Marcus briefs them during the car ride to the Beverly Hills Hotel. We've identified 7 potential security risks. Yusuf flew in yesterday under an assumed name. Victoria Monroe is staying at the Four Seasons, officially for a museum board meeting. And the Monroe family's assets? Liquid. More liquid than they've been in years, like they're preparing for a major expenditure. Kareem's jaw tightens. Over the past months, they've played a careful game of chess with Yusuf and the Monroe family. Every move calculated, every counter move anticipated. But chess games eventually end, and someone always loses everything. The Peninsula Hotel rises before them like a glass and steel monument to excess. Emily has stayed in places like this now, but she still remembers what it felt like to serve people who lived here. Final security briefing in an hour, Marcus says as they enter the lobby. Dinner with the development partners at 8. Contract signing tomorrow at 10 a.m. 24 hours. After everything they've been through, it comes down to 24 hours. Emily's room adjoins Kareem's through a connecting door, officially for convenience, unofficially because neither of them trusts anyone else to watch the other's back. She's unpacking when her phone buzzes. Unknown number. Hello? Emily Carter. The voice is cultured, female, coldly polite. This is Victoria Monroe. Emily's blood chills. How did you get this number? I think it's time we met, face to face. I don't think. The rooftop garden. 1 hour. Come alone, or Kareem dies tonight. The line goes dead. Emily stares at her phone, mind racing. It's a trap, obviously. Victoria Monroe didn't call to chat about the weather, but what if she's not bluffing? What if Kareem really is in immediate danger? Emily checks her watch. 57 minutes until the security briefing. Kareem is reviewing contracts in his suite, surrounded by lawyers and financial advisors. Safe, for now. Emily opens the connecting door without knocking, a privilege earned through 3 months of life-or-death partnership. I need to step out, she says. Kareem looks up from a stack of documents. Where? Victoria Monroe wants to meet. Rooftop garden, 1 hour. Absolutely not. She says you die tonight if I don't show. Kareem stands, his expression hardening. Then we call Marcus, set up surveillance, go in prepared. She said come alone. Emily. His voice carries the weight of months of shared danger. You're not going alone to meet the woman who's been trying to kill me. Emily meets his gaze. She's not trying to kill you anymore. She's trying to save herself. What do you mean? Think about it. Victoria's been building her case against you for months, spreading rumors, turning allies against you. But nothing's happened. No attempts on your life since Houston. Kareem frowns. You think she's having second thoughts? I think she's realized that killing you won't bring Claire back. And that maybe, just maybe, she's been wrong about who killed her sister. The silence stretches between them. Finally, Kareem nods reluctantly. 30 minutes. If you're not back, you send in the cavalry. I know. Emily takes the elevator to the rooftop garden, her heart hammering. The sun is setting over Los Angeles, painting the sky in shades of gold and crimson that would be beautiful if she weren't walking into potential death. Victoria Monroe stands at the far end of the garden, silhouetted against the city lights. She's still elegant, still perfectly dressed, but something in her posture suggests fragility. You came, Victoria says without turning around. You threatened him. Of course I came. Victoria turns then, and Emily sees something she wasn't expecting in the older woman's eyes. Tears. Do you know what it's like to lose your only sister? Emily thinks of her brother Caleb, and her throat tightens. No, but I know what it's like to be afraid of losing family. Claire was everything to me. After our parents died, she was all I had left. Victoria's voice breaks slightly. When she married Kareem, I felt like I'd lost her to a stranger, a foreign stranger who didn't understand our world. But she loved him. Yes, she did. The admission seems to cost Victoria something, which is why I couldn't understand why she called me that night. Crying, scared, saying she'd discovered something terrible about him. Emily steps closer. What if she didn't discover something about Kareem? What if she discovered something about someone else? Victoria's eyes narrow. What do you mean? Your family's accountant, Edmund Marsh. He handled Claire's trust fund, right? Victoria freezes. How do you? Because I've been investigating your family's finances for months. Edmund was embezzling from Claire's trust. Had been for years. She found out that night, didn't she? Called you to tell you the man your family trusted was stealing from you. Victoria's face goes pale. That's impossible. Edmund has been with our family for 20 years, long enough to perfect his system. He was bleeding your accounts dry and Claire caught him, but Edmund couldn't let her expose him. The pieces click into place behind Victoria's eyes. The car accident wasn't an accident, but it wasn't Kareem who killed her. It was Edmund, covering his tracks. Victoria sinks onto a nearby bench, her composure finally cracking. Oh God, what have I done? You've been trying to destroy an innocent man for 3 years, but it's not too late to make it right. Yes, it is. Victoria's voice is barely a whisper. I've already set everything in motion. Yusuf thinks I'm backing his play against Kareem. The contracts have been altered. The poison is already in place. Emily's blood turns to ice. What poison? Tomorrow morning. The signing ceremony. Kareem's coffee will be enhanced. Call it off. I can't. Yusuf has the arrangements. I was just the money and the motivation. Victoria looks up at Emily with desperate eyes. But you can stop it. You can warn him. Why are you telling me this? Because you love him. The words hit Emily like a physical blow. I've watched you for months. The way you look at him. The way you die to protect him. The same way Claire used to look at him. Victoria's smile is sad. She would have liked you. Emily's throat tightens. Victoria, go, warn him. Stop this before I destroy the last good thing Claire ever chose. Emily turns to leave, then stops. What about you? Edmund Marsh has a lot to answer for, and Victoria Monroe has some confessions to make. Emily runs for the elevator, her mind racing. Yusuf has the poison arranged. The signing is tomorrow morning. She has maybe 12 hours to figure out how to save Kareem's life. Again. But as the elevator descends, Emily realizes something that makes her heart pound even harder than fear. Victoria was right. She does love Kareem Al-Fayed, and she's about to risk everything to save the man who once told her she didn't belong in his world. She risked everything for a man who once dismissed her. Would you do the same? Subscribe before you miss the shocking conclusion. The Beverly Hills Four Seasons buzzes with pre-dawn activity as catering staff prepare for the most important business breakfast of the year. Emily moves among them in stolen uniform, her heart hammering as she searches for the poisoned coffee. 4 hours ago, she told Kareem everything. 2 hours ago, they decided she would go undercover while he proceeded with the signing as planned, bait to draw out Yusuf and his conspirators. 1 hour ago, Emily began to question their sanity. Third coffee station from the left. Marcus's voice crackles through her nearly invisible earpiece. We've identified the catering manager as one of Yusuf's associates. Emily spots him, middle-aged man with nervous eyes hovering over a silver coffee service like a guard protecting treasure. She approaches with a tray of pastries, every muscle coiled for action. Beautiful morning for such an important event, she says cheerfully. The man barely glances at her. Indeed. Emily sets down her tray and accidentally bumps the coffee service. Hot liquid splashes across the white tablecloth. "Oh no, I'm so clumsy." The manager swears and hurries away to get towels, leaving Emily alone with the coffee. She has maybe 30 seconds before he returns. Emily pulls a small vial from her pocket, an antidote Marcus obtained from a contact at the FBI. She adds 3 drops to the poisoned pot, watching the clear liquid disappear without a trace. The antidote won't save Kareem completely, but it should neutralize enough of the poison to keep him alive long enough for medical treatment. "All done," she whispers into her mic. "Good. Now get out of there." But as Emily turns to leave, she finds herself face to face with Yusuf Al-Fayed. He's older than Kareem, with the same strong jaw but softer features. Where Kareem radiates dangerous power, Yusuf projects wounded entitlement. "You must be Emily Carter," he says with a cold smile. "My brother's assistant." Emily's blood chills. "I'm sorry. Do we know each other?" "We haven't been formally introduced, but I know all about you." Yusuf steps closer. The little waitress who thinks she can play in the big leagues. "I should get back to work." "You should, but not here." His hand closes on her arm, fingers digging in hard enough to bruise. "We need to talk." Emily glances around the busy kitchen. No one is paying attention to them. To outside observers, they look like 2 staff members having a conversation. "About what?" "About the choice you're going to make in the next 5 minutes. You can walk away right now, disappear back to whatever hole you crawled out of, and live a long, happy life in obscurity. Or," Yusuf's smile turns predatory, "or you can continue interfering in family business and join my late sister-in-law in whatever comes after this life." Emily meets his gaze steadily. "Family business? Is that what you call attempted murder?" "I call it justice. Kareem has stolen everything that should have been mine. Our father's love, the respect of our people, the empire I helped build." Yusuf's voice carries years of bitter resentment. "He even stole Claire from me." Emily's eyes widen. "You were in love with Claire. I met her first, at a gallery opening in New York. We talked for hours about art, about literature, about life. I was going to ask her out." Yusuf's grip tightens. Then Kareem walked in, took one look at her and decided she was his. Because that's what Kareem does. He takes whatever he wants. Claire chose him. Claire was blinded by his money and power. If she'd lived longer, she would have realized what kind of man she'd married. Emily thinks about Victoria's revelation, about the real reason Claire called her family that night. What if I told you Claire died because she discovered an accountant was embezzling from her trust fund, that she never found anything incriminating about Kareem? Yusuf goes very still. "What?" "Edmund Marsh killed your sister-in-law to cover up his crimes. Kareem had nothing to do with it." For a moment, something flickers in Yusuf's eyes. Doubt, or maybe hope. Then his expression hardens again. "Nice try. But even if that's true, it changes nothing. Kareem still took everything that should have been mine. And today, I take it back. By poisoning him at a business breakfast? By giving him what he deserves." Yusuf releases her arm and straightens his jacket. "You have 2 minutes to leave this building. After that, anyone standing between me and justice becomes collateral damage." Emily backs away, her mind racing. The antidote might not be enough. She needs to get Kareem out of that conference room. But as she moves toward the exit, Emily spots something that makes her heart stop. Kareem is already here. He stands in the hotel's main conference room, surrounded by lawyers and development partners, looking relaxed and confident as he reviews final contract details. No idea that his coffee has been poisoned. No idea that his half-brother is 30 feet away, watching him with murder in his eyes. Emily speaks into her mic. "Marcus, we have a problem. Kareem's already in the conference room." "We see him. Maintain your position." "Yusuf knows who I am. He's made me as a threat." Static crackles through the earpiece. Then Marcus's voice tense. "Emily, get out of there. Now." but Emily is already moving toward the conference room. She can't leave Kareem alone with a man who spent 3 years planning his death, even if it means walking into a trap herself. The conference room doors are glass, providing a clear view of the proceedings. Kareem sits at the head of a massive table, signing documents while 12 of Los Angeles' most powerful real estate moguls look on. Emily slips inside, staying near the back wall where she can observe without drawing attention. The coffee service arrives right on schedule. Emily watches in horror as a server, one of Yusuf's people, places a steaming cup directly in front of Kareem. The same coffee she added antidote to, but what if it's not enough? What if she calculated the dosage wrong? Kareem reaches for the cup. Emily steps forward. "Mr. Al-Fayed?" Every head in the room turns toward her. Kareem's eyes narrow slightly. They agreed she would stay out of sight unless there was immediate danger. "I'm sorry to interrupt, but you have an urgent call. Family emergency." It's a lie, but it gets Kareem away from the coffee. He excuses himself and follows Emily into the hallway. "What's wrong?" he asks immediately. "Yusuf is here. He knows I interfered with the poison, and I think—" Emily's voice drops to a whisper. "I think the coffee wasn't his only backup plan." As if summoned by her words, the lights go out. Emergency lighting kicks in, casting eerie red shadows through the hallway. Emily hears shouts from the conference room, the sound of chairs scraping against marble floors. "Ladies and gentlemen," Yusuf's voice echoes through the hotel's PA system. "This is a private family matter. Please remain calm and stay where you are." Kareem grabs Emily's hand. "This way." They run toward the emergency exit, but the door is already blocked by 2 armed men in hotel security uniforms. Yusuf's people, Emily realizes. He's taken over the entire building. "The service elevator," Kareem says, pulling her in the opposite direction. But as they round the corner, they come face to face with Yusuf himself. He's no longer pretending to be a catering manager. Now he looks like what he is, a man with nothing left to lose. "Hello, brother." Yusuf's smile is cold. "Going somewhere?" "This is between us," Kareem says calmly. "Let Emily go." Emily stays. She's been part of this game from the beginning. Only fair she sees how it ends. "Yusuf, listen to me." "No, you listen." Yusuf's composure finally cracks. "Do you know what it was like growing up in your shadow? Being the spare heir, the backup plan, watching you take everything I wanted. The company belongs to both of us. I never tried to—" "Claire." Yusuf's voice breaks on the name. "You took Claire." Emily steps forward, surprising both men. Claire wasn't property to be taken. She was a person who made her own choices. Yusuf's eyes flash with rage. "What would you know about it? You're nobody, a servant who got lucky." "I know about love," Emily says quietly. "Real love, the kind that wants the other person to be happy, even if it's not with you." "That's enough." Yusuf raises something. Emily can't tell if it's a gun or a knife in the dim emergency lighting. "Both of you back toward the conference room. It's time to finish this." They walk slowly, Emily's mind racing for options. The conference room is full of witnesses, but also potential hostages. The emergency exits are blocked. Marcus and his security team are somewhere in the building, but— "There's something you should know," Emily says suddenly. Yusuf tenses. "What?" "About Claire's death. About why she really called Victoria that night." "I don't want to hear your lies." "Edmund Marsh was stealing from her trust fund. She found out and called Victoria to warn her. That's why she was upset. That's why she crashed." Emily's voice carries absolute conviction. "Kareem never betrayed her, but someone else did." Yusuf stops walking. "You're lying. Victoria confessed everything last night. Edmund killed Claire to cover up his embezzlement. Your sister-in-law died because she was trying to protect your family's money." Something breaks behind Yusuf's eyes. No, that's not. "I spent 3 years hating the wrong man," Emily says gently. 3 years planning revenge against someone who loved Claire as much as you did. Yusuf's weapon wavers. In the red emergency lighting, Emily can see tears on his face. She was going to choose me, he whispers. Before she met Kareem. I know she was. Maybe, Kareem says quietly, but she chose love instead of duty. The same way you're choosing now. The silence stretches between the three of them. Emily can hear sirens in the distance. Marcus must have called the police. Finally, Yusuf lowers his weapon. I'm sorry, he says to Kareem. I'm so sorry. Kareem steps forward and pulls his half-brother into an embrace. We both lost her, but we don't have to lose each other. 6 months later, Emily Carter stands in the office that used to terrify her, looking out at Houston's skyline. But now the view belongs to her. Literally. The nameplate on the door reads, Emily Carter, Senior Partner, Al-Fayed Industries. The transition from waitress to businesswoman hasn't been easy. She still catches herself being surprised by her own reflection in the glass walls, still sometimes feels like an imposter in designer suits. But she's earned her place here. Through intelligence, courage, and an ability to see what others miss. The door opens behind her. Ready for the museum dedication? Emily turns to find Kareem adjusting his tie. Even after all these months of working together, he still takes her breath away. Not because of his wealth or power, but because of the man he's become since that night in Houston. Almost. Emily picks up a small framed photograph from her desk. I want to bring this. It's a picture of Claire Al-Fayed, Kareem's late wife, that Victoria Monroe gave her last month. Claire is laughing at something off camera, her eyes bright with joy and mischief. She would have liked this, Emily says, referring to the Children's Literacy Center they're about to dedicate in Claire's memory. Books for kids who can't afford them. She would have loved you, Kareem says quietly. Emily meets his gaze. Over the months, their relationship has evolved from employer-employee to partners to something deeper. Something neither of them has quite found the courage to name. The car's waiting, Kareem says. Emily nods, but doesn't move toward the door. There's something I want to say first. What? That night at the restaurant, when you told me girls like me don't belong in places like this. Emily's voice is steady. You were wrong. Kareem's expression grows serious. Emily, I don't just belong here. I was meant to be here. Not because you rescued me from poverty, but because I rescued you from loneliness. She steps closer. We saved each other. The silence stretches between them, heavy with months of unspoken feelings. I know what Victoria said on the rooftop, Kareem says finally. About the way you look at me. Emily's heart pounds. And? She was right. But she was wrong about one thing. He reaches up to touch her face gently. You don't love me the same way Claire did. Emily's heart sinks. What do you mean? You love me better. Stronger. The way someone loves when they choose to, not when they have to. Before Emily can respond, Kareem kisses her. It's not their first kiss. That happened 3 weeks ago in a hotel room in Dubai, after they successfully completed their first international deal together. But this kiss feels different, like a promise. When they finally break apart, Emily's legs feel weak. So what happens now? She asks. Kareem's smile is the one she's learned to treasure, warm, genuine, reserved only for her. Now we go dedicate a library, then we have dinner with your mother and brother. Then we come home and figure out the rest of our lives. Together. Together. As they walk toward the elevator, Emily catches her reflection in the polished steel doors. The woman looking back at her is confident, successful, loved. She belongs here. Not because someone told her she could, but because she chose to believe it herself. Some people enter our lives to destroy us, others to save us. Subscribe if you believe everyone deserves a second chance at redemption. Outside, Houston glitters under an endless Texas sky, full of possibilities neither of them could have imagined when a shy waitress first spilled water on an arrogant billionaire. Sometimes the best love stories begin with the worst first impressions. And sometimes the people who look like they don't belong are exactly where they're meant to be.